What is up, guys? Blue Sun JRPG'S here, bringing you my reaction video to Game Informer's top 100 RPGs of all time. This obviously isn't my opinion, this is theirs. So I'm not going to go super crazy, I'm not going to be over the top just for the sake of views, because overall, I did think this list was pretty damn good. I think they had a lot of the great games. I did think there was a couple of snubs in this, to be honest. But overall, I thought it was a very good list. I'm not going to go through every single game. I'm just going to go to the games that, for me, have significant importance. Or, for me, games that were rated too highly or rated too poorly. Or too low. So the first game we have, Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously, this isn't a video game. It's a tabletop RPG. I love how they put it at 0. It shouldn't even be in the list in my opinion, but it obviously has so much significance to RPGs, I have no problem it being there. Skyrim, can't argue with Skyrim. Skyrim was a tremendous, tremendous game. Obviously one of my favorites of all time. Final Fantasy VI, another great one. Chrono Trigger, I'm actually more of a fan of Chrono Cross. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but I like Chrono Cross a lot more. I think Chrono Cross actually did make the list, but yeah, I mean, I think Chrono Cross is better than Trigger. Mass Effect 2, this is my biggest problem with the list, to be honest with you. And I am a massive, massive Mass Effect fan. No pun intended. No pun intended. But I think Mass Effect 1 is far, far better. Even Mass Effect 3 I think is better, aside from the ending. I thought the Human Reaper was ridiculous. Mass Effect 2 is a good game, I'm not gonna lie, but in my opinion there's no way it's better than Mass Effect 1. Star Wars KOTOR, I'm so happy to see that game got some love. So happy to see it up there. A lot of people do rate it very highly, but I just feel like it's not as well known as games like Final Fantasy VII. And Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is an absolutely amazing RPG. It's one of the best I've ever played. I think I put it as number 1 on my list of original Xbox games, period, for any genre. Even had games like Halo. Knights of the Old Republic was an absolutely amazing game. Fallout 3, so good to see Fallout 3 up there. That was a tremendous game as well. I think it was better than Fallout 4. Much better than Fallout 4, really. So I'm glad to see they went with that one and not that. Pokémon Red and Blue. I have a bone to pick with this one. I mean, I'm not going to rip Pokémon Red and Blue. They were great. Those are the first games I got actually on the Game Boy. So I love those games. But in my opinion, the best Pokemon game to date has to be Crystal. Crystal was unbelievable. I think it took all the good things about Gold, Silver, Red and Blue, and then it perfected them. So I would have put Crystal there. Final Fantasy VII, pretty well ranked, I would say. Obviously a great game. Persona 5, great game, can't argue with that there. Maybe should be a little bit higher even. I thought Persona 3 should be higher. That was the big crime in the Persona series. But overall, I mean, the games are all good games, so I mean, it's hard to rip them for this. Kingdom Hearts 2, I was a bigger fan of Kingdom Hearts, the original one. That got me into RPGs, so I do have a soft spot for Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts actually didn't even make this list, which was shocking. But that was actually one of the bigger upsets for me. But overall, I mean, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a good game as well. Dragon Age Origins, I love Dragon Age. I don't think Dragon Age gets nearly enough credit. Earthbound, obviously, probably the most expensive game on this list, I would say. I'm not going to say it's the best game, but definitely probably the most expensive. This list actually has a surprising lack of Tales games. You would think there would be so many Tales games on this, but there's actually not very many. I think it's only 1 or 2. Persona 4, again, I don't know how Persona 4 is ranked so low. I mean, like I said, the games above it are great games, but Persona 4 was an absolutely phenomenal game. I would put Persona 4 maybe top 10, but that's just me. I mean, it's hard to argue with these games. They're all great games. Phantasy Star 4, great game. Fallout New Vegas, I loved Fallout New Vegas. It was basically Fallout 3, but with bright colors. I mean, that was awesome. Diablo got a lot. The series Diablo got a lot of love on this list. I haven't played any of the Diablo games, but they're obviously very well known and they get very high reviews. So hard to argue on that front. Xenosaga Episode 1. I think Xenosaga is a really good game, really underrated game. So I'm glad to see it on the list. My biggest snub of this list, though, has got to be the Lunar games. I have Lunar as my favorite RPG of all time, so to not even see it make the top 100 is insane, in my opinion. I wonder if the people just forgot about it when reviewing this, or never played it, because there's no way you could do a top 100 RPG list of all time and not have one of the Lunar games. I mean, they're that good. So I mean, the only explanation could be that they didn't play the games, or they haven't heard about them or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that was probably a big oversight on my opinion. In my opinion, another game I thought they could have included were some of the Shin Megami Tensei games, Digital Devil Saga, stuff like that. Obviously, we have a lot of Persona games, but none of them. Obviously, Persona 1 and Persona 2, though, that was pretty glaring they missed that. Xenogears, obviously Xenogears is a great game, hard to argue that. Pokemon Gold and Silver, again, great games in their own right, but Crystals is far better than those. Crystal should have been on the list, in my opinion. Dragon Quest VIII, many people consider Dragon Quest VIII to be the pinnacle of the series. I know there's a lot of love for Dragon Quest 3 as well too, but I like Dragon Quest 8. Oblivion. Oblivion could have easily been higher. I don't think they wanted to do too much Elder Scrolls at the top. I know Skyrim was 1, and then Morrowind I think was like 19 or something like that. But Oblivion's a great game in its own right. Should have been up there. You guys have probably ripped me, but I have never played Grandia 2. Never played Grandia 1 either. I've been looking to get into it. I just never owned those games, to be honest with you. So someday if I get a good price on them, I'll pick them up and give it a try. Fable 2, another era in my opinion. Again, these are great games, guys, so I don't want to come off as overly negative. But Fable the Lost Chapters, in my opinion, is the best Fables game. It really was everything that Fable 1 was, plus the bonus content. And I love Fable 1. So Fable the Lost Chapters was phenomenal. I would think Fable the Lost Chapters could have been top 20, top 30 for me. But hey, it is what it is. Finally, Chrono Cross comes in at 59. I think that's pretty underrated, but what are you going to do? Some of these games I've never even heard of. Icewind Dale 2. I don't know what that is. I'll probably get ripped for that as well, but to be honest, I've never played it. Valkyrie Chronicles, tremendous game. 63, it's low, but hey. Mass Effect 65. The thing I want people to take away from this list, though, is if you look at all these games, they are all pretty damn cheap, and they are tremendous games. That's the great thing to take away about this list, is that the RPG genre, yeah, while it is expensive for a lot of the titles, most of the great ones are actually pretty affordable. 10, 15 bucks at the most. A lot of these you can get for 4 or 5 bucks. Xenoblade Chronicles up there, obviously, that's a pretty popular recent game. I've never played it because I don't have a Wii. I don't do too much Nintendo gaming. Tales of Symphonia was a strange one in my opinion. Of all the Tales games to put up was Symphonia. Symphonia is good, but it's not my favorite. I'm not even the biggest Tales fan, but I think there are a lot of great Tales games. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together, tremendous game. I've never heard of some of these other games. I've never heard of Golden Sun, never heard of Pillars of Eternity, The World Ends With You, never heard of that. Maybe they're older games, but I'm not sure. 96, Lost Odyssey. I am so happy to see Lost Odyssey make the list. I think it could have been a little bit higher, but you know what? Lost Odyssey is an amazing game, very underrated game because it is on the 360. But good to see it up there. Dark Cloud 2. I never played Dark Cloud 2. I actually just bought Dark Cloud 1 back yesterday. Dark Cloud 1's an amazing game, so maybe I'll pick up Dark Cloud 2 sometime. So again, guys, overall, I thought this list was pretty damn good. It definitely seemed like many of the people who composed this list actually knew a lot about RPGs. They didn't seem to go for the RPGs that everybody knew. I'm sure there was The Witcher 3 up there. I'm sure there was Skyrim on the top. But, those are great games, so they belong up there. I would have been upset had they put Final Fantasy VII number 1. But that seems to be like the choice that everyone goes with as their favorite RPG of all time. Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy VII is a great game, but it's not the best RPG of all time in my books. Biggest snubs though, Mass Effect 1 coming in at around 60 was way too low. Persona 3 also around 60, way too low. Mass Effect, like I said, Lunar, Vanguard Bandits. A lot of great games could have been up there, but there have been so many great RPGs, guys. And I think that's something to take away from this list, just how many great RPGs there are. I would say there are probably 200, 250 RPGs that could easily make this list. That shows the depth of this genre. A lot of people don't think there are many great RPGs out there, but just take a look at this list. take a look at how many games you would like to add on there, and that goes to show you how many games you've had over the past 30, 40 years. To go back and play. And the great thing about these games is I think you can go back and play any single one of these games and you will still have fun playing it, because RPGs tend to stand the test of time because they're that good of games. But overall, guys, massive thanks for checking out this video. If you want to see more RPG, more anime content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos all the time, at least once a week. Be sure to hit that like button if you liked it. Drop me a comment. Let me know what games you guys would like to see on here. Let me know if my opinion's way off. Alright guys, peace